No way. All right. Today's Daf Nun, we're holding Daf Mem Tesam with Beis.
Good morning, Avrami.
We are continuing with the theme that it's possible to have A without B, but it's impossible to have B without A. In other words, we're discussing. It's a guest from Lakewood. Be nice.
He told me he has to change his life. So Chaim said, start learning you have to finish Shas to come back to me. So he came here.
We're the first one. Givaldik. Okay. I hear the Maisa. So one minute, time out. This is a Maisa Shahayar. Chaim Kanievsky told this gentleman from Lakewood to come to our shir. Givaldik. All right. Givaldik.
That should be very good advertising.
Okay. Yeah. We're continuing with the theme. It's possible to have, we're talking about Niddah now. We're talking about a Simonim. It's possible to have Siman Tachtoin without Elyon, but it's impossible to have Elyon without Tachtoin. So if you see Siman Elyon, obviously you're going to have Siman Tachtoin. So now the Mishnayos take us through a wild ride through Shas. And one of the things that we're learning is the Mishnah. We're starting from Mishnah. Mishnah is always a new parak. It's like a new Masechta. Kol ha-kosher lodin kosher lo'id. If somebody's able to be a dayan, he's able to be a witness. Yesh kosher lo'id ve'ein kosher lodin. So it's the same thing. It's possible that you are allowed to be a witness, but you cannot be a dayan. But it's impossible to be a dayan and not be a witness. Who in history was a dayan but was not a witness? Nachman should know this one. There was a person who was a dayan but couldn't be a witness. Udvaira Isha Neviah, he shoftas Yisrael.
She said dayan. That's like the not. Okay. You should say dayanis if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
She didn't adjudicate
Dayan.
cases.
So Mamela, that's why some are goyers here that Lasui Mai. The Gemara says, what kind of case are we discussing? Omer Rabbi Yochanan la'asuyei enechanami. So when it comes to women, this halacha doesn't apply. This klal doesn't apply. There are women that could be judges and dayanim, but they can't be witnesses. A woman can never be a witness. When it comes to a man, it's possible. La'asuyei mai Omer Rabbi Yochanan la'asuyei sumo ba'achas meinov. A person who's blind in one eye, he's allowed to testify. He's allowed to be a witness. He's puzzled to be a dayan. What if he's blind in both of his eyes? Then he can't witness either. It says Oira, says Rashi. Now, what's very interesting about this halacha is, what if a person is blind in both eyes after he witnessed something? He witnessed a murder and then he became blind. Could he go to court and say, I saw the murder? And the answer is no. It becomes a psul in his guf. It has nothing to do with his testimony. Yeah, nice chiddush, yeah? Oiro. Correct. But right now it becomes a psul in his guf. It's not a technical thing, it's a physical thing. Reb Meir, sorry. Umani Reb Meir. So this halacha goes according to Reb Meir. The Sani Hoyer Meir Oimer Matamud Oimer Al Piem Yeh Kol Riv V'Chol Nega. The kohen who is judging, he's going to judge all the fights, the whole nega and saras. What's the connection between the two? So it's to make a hekesh. There are things that we have in one that we don't have in the other, and we're going to learn one from the other. Makesh rivim lenegoyim, manegoyim bayoyim, dichsiv uviyoyim herois boy. A nega tzaras, if a person has a white splotch on his skin, he goes to the kohen only during the daytime. It says uviyoim, afrivim bayoim. So too, when you have a din Torah, it has to be during the daytime. Uma negoyim shloi besuma. Just like negoyim, you can't be blind even in one eye. So too, when it comes to be a dayan, when it comes to a din Torah, you can't be blind in one eye. It says in the pasuk that you have to have both eyes. Einei. Not only that, we learn from here that even if your eyesight got weaker, you're also puzzled. I have to have full eyesight. So Mela, I see this halacha. This is the halacha that we're looking for. That in order to be a judge, you have to have both eyes. If you're blind in one eye, you cannot be a dayan. Afrivim shloi besumo. Umakish negoim. Now the brayso just continues. Umakish negoim lerivim marivim shloi bekroivim. Af negoim shloi bekroivim. Just like, obviously, you're not going to judge. You're not going to be a dayan for your own relative. That's not fair. So negoim. Now here's the chiddush. A nega tzaras, any kohen in the world could look at the nega and say, Tommy, you could be an Amaretz. You don't have to know anything. So maybe I could be your brother and say, Tommy, what's the big deal? I'm just, it's not money. I could be a shaita. I could be, not a shaita, but I could be a big Amaretz. It's not really, no, nevertheless, I can't be a relative. If negoim, how do I know? That I know from Rivim. I wouldn't know this on my own. It's not a logical thing. That I learned from the Hegesh. Ima Rivim b'shloisha af negoim b'shloisha. So once I'm learning all these things, so let's go all the way. When it comes to Din Torah, I need 3 dayanim. So perhaps I need 3 kohanim to stare at my blemish and say, Tomei, why is one enough? B'dinu. It's a kavachomer. If I'm just trying to take a couple bucks from a guy, I need 3 people. So certainly if it has to do with him and kicking him out of the machane and treating him not nicely, so to speak, maybe I should also need 3 people. One. Barak, we spoke about yesterday, but you weren't here. About your sister. It's more about your sister. We had a kavachomer. If you could be on the Supreme Court, so certainly you should be able and judge death, life and death situations. So certainly you should be able to judge monetary things. That was the kavachomer. We brought your sister, but you weren't here. I looked around and Zok the Gemara. What?
She hasn't said anything.
But she could deal with that. Abortions, I don't know what, whatever it has to do. Like, fine. Zok the Gemara. A Maisa. Oh, you came just in time for the story. Ahu Samyo, it's not the greatest story. There was a blind person, only in one eye. Our story. The person was blind in one eye. What's going on here? In Rabbi Yochanan's neighborhood, a one-eyed judge. And we just said you can't have one eye. What's going on here? He allowed it. So see, it's a machlokes. Look, it's Rabbi Yochanan himself that started out the whole sugya and says that our Mishnah, what's the first words in the Gemara? It's Rabbi Yochanan who's the one that says that a judge with one eye is no good. So how in the world did Rabbi Yochanan allow it in his own neighborhood? And this is an anonymous Mishnah. And when there's a Stam Mishnah, why do we have a Stam Mishnah? To teach us that's the halacha. You don't bring any mandamar. When Rebbe wants to show this is the halacha, it's the halacha. He says it without an author. In our Mishnah. So how in Rabbi Yochanan's neighborhood was there a one-eyed judge? Rabbi Yochanan stomach ridashkach. Rabbi Yochanan has another Mishnah. This nan. We have a problem. If you cannot judge at night, so how is it possible to start off a court case in the daytime and let it go into the nighttime? That should be a problem. And since it says in Sanhedrin you're allowed to do that, what does that tell me? That Sanhedrin, the Mishnah Sanhedrin, ignores this whole brisa. There's no hekish between Rivim and Negoim. I don't know this concept that I can't do it at night. So if I could do a Din Torah at night, so I could do a Din Torah with a one-eyed judge. And once I don't have the hekish, I don't have the hekish. That's the Mishnah Sanhedrin. So I have a Mishnah Sanhedrin that seems to contradict the Mishnah in Niddah, our Mishnah. And why would I listen to that Mishnah over this Mishnah? That goes according to the Rabbim, the Chachamim, and this goes according to Rabbi Meir. Like we said, Umani, Rabbi Meir, the top words on this Amud. In other words, our Mishnah goes like a Yachid, that goes like a Rabbim, and Rabbim is better. Why is this brought here in our Mishnah? Because we're going with a theme. We bring all these halachas that have nothing to do with Masechtas Niddah.
No.
They're just a theme that you could have A without B, but you can have B without A. It's a theme. But the Ikar halacha, this halacha, which is said in Sanhedrin, that's where it belongs. How does Sanhedrin do Dinei Torah? How do courts do it? So Memela, that Masechta has priority over our Masechta when it comes to Hilchas Mamanis and Dinim. And that's why Rabbi Yochanan paskin like Sanhedrin and not like Masechtas Niddah. New Mishnah.
Can I just give you a slight Rabbi Schoenberg type approach?
Yeah.
And
Ooh, you see, Rabbi Schoenberg, they're already using you. You're a thing. It's a musik. It's a concept. The Rabbi Schoenberg approach. Nachman Seltz's story. The Rabbi Schoenberg concept.
at the end of the day, why does a dying have to have eyesight? He listens to the evidence.
Now, whatever you're about to say, you're going to have to differentiate between a dayan and a witness. I could murder somebody based on the testimony that I saw. I saw Eidos with one eye, yet a judge is different. Okay, no, go ahead, Rabbi Schoenberg.
Why does the judge have to see? Yes, you hear the aide who had the vision,
Yeah.
saw the case. Why does he have to see?
Maybe the Vilna Gaon's word, tzedek tirda. If you have to know all the, okay, fine.
From here we can be down, but why? Fundamentally, but there's an underlying.
No, there's only.
What's
And
the
that is,
concept?
you can see from here that the dying has to look at the witness, and he can decide this guy's lying.
And you can't do that with one eye.
You have to see. And you can't,
But he does see.
you
He
can-
sees with one eye.
Not as good. Not as good. And you can ignore Adis, even though Torah says two Adim
Well, if he has one eye, then the one eye now compensates for the two eyes, and now he sees better with one eye than with two eyes.
I'm not sure Rabbi Schoenberg is happy with your approach, and to say that this is a Rabbi Schoenberg approach.
I don't know about that.
It's not the same.
I don't know if it's Rabbi Schoenberg.
Rabbi Schoenberg's approaches are usually on a higher level. No, I'm just kidding. That's okay.
Oh.
So what?
Okay.
Why can anyone be a dying? I tell you why.
That's on oath. Because it says, umum ein bach. Umum ein bach.
Only give them moments. Only give them moments.
All right, let's go weiter.
Whose cases are you?
Dr. Mishnah. Continuing with the theme. It's possible to have one thing without the other, but it's impossible to have the other thing without, it's possible to have A without B, but not B without A. Kol shechayev b'maisros, if a food is chayev in meiser, mitamet tumas oichlin, it automatically tells me that it's food. What's chayev in meiser? Something that's food. So if something is food, then it has the ability to be mitama other things with food tuma. Now, we have to remember this. It's a little tricky. Food tuma, what does food tuma mean? It has the ability that if it's tameh, to be mitama other foods. V'yesh shemitama tumas oichlin ve'eir chay b'maisros. There's something that could become tameh and is not chay b'maiser. How is it possible? A riddle. How is it possible that I have food that becomes tameh and I don't have to bring meiser? I don't have to take meiser from it. Says the Gemara, Lasuyi mai, lasuyi basar, vidogim ubeitim. Meat becomes tameh, but you don't take meiser from meat. Fish become tameh, you don't take meiser from fish and eggs. Let me ask you a question that all the Rishonim ask. Meat you don't take meiser from? What in the world is meiser behema? If it's not meiser? Every 10th animal goes to the kohen, goes bye-bye. Why is that not meiser?
It's not cooked.
Cooked.
That's what it means.
And apples are cooked when you take meiser.
No. But that's
So
the natural state.
some
You have to cook
Rishonim.
apples to eat them.
Okay, I don't like your teretz.
Meat you have to cook to eat.
No, but they're talking
But
about
you never take meiser when it's completely cooked. You take it before.
Who's talking?
What? Oh, you hear what Rabbi Yankiv Rosedale's tining without looking into his Art Scroll app? Some people say we're talking about chayas. Yeah, the Rishonim are goyers chaya. Venison. If you don't know what venison is, you have to come to Chicago to shallots.
Deer.
They do? They have Cincinnati. Oh, the goyim, not kosher. Go to any hick town, you'll have Ishkoyach. Yeah.
able to eat.
Very nice, very nice. Okay.
All these secrets.
Zok the Mishnah. We're going weiter. Another Mishnah. Kol shechayev bepeya, chayev b'maisus. What's peya?
It's the corner of the field.
Stop looking at your art scroll and tell me I'm shut.
Or the hospital doesn't say anything about it.
Okay. The halacha is every field, you have to leave a little bit in the field for the poor people. How much do you leave in the field? Does anybody know?
Yeah, you said it this morning.
Oh. Hapeya Elam Shelem Shir. Hapeya. We just say it. Sometimes we don't realize what we're saying. Anyways, there's no shir. Midiraisa, you could leave one kernel of wheat in the field and you're good to go. But Chachamim already came up with shir and one out of 60. V'chulu. So, Kol shechai bepeya chai b'maisers. If I have to leave my fruit in the corner of the field, then obviously it's a type of food. It's a meiser dik of food. I would have to give meiser to it. However, the two foods in the world, one of them is figs. Figs. I give meiser, I don't leave peya. And we're going to see in the Gemara why.
The tree.
All trees. Vegetables. All vegetables are chai b'maiser. There's no peya. If you have tomatoes, you have a whole farm of tomatoes, you don't leave any tomatoes. What do you guys call it? Not you. The roiv of the shear, the English roiv.
What about the time?
Now with the guy from Lakewood, now we just went over back to American, but whatever, he's leaving tomorrow. It's not a good zach.
Tomorrow's Friday. He's not going anywhere.
Kol shu teina v'yarik she'ein chai b'peya. Lasui mai lasui teina v'yarik she'ein chai b'peya. So we have two types of fruit. It's a lot of fruit. It's a lot of vegetables. All the vegetables of the world, kemat, almost all the vegetables, and one fruit called a fig. These are not chayiv in peya, but they're chayiv in meiser. So it fits right into the Mishnah. This nan. Klal omru b'peya. There's a klal. The klal goes like this. There are 5 rules when it comes to peya. This is peya, this is meiser. Peya, in order to be chayiv and peya, you need 5 things. A, it needs to be food. It needs to be edible. It needs to be nishmar. You need to protect it, not hefker. It needs to grow out of the ground. And if we go through each thing, oichel means not sitim and koitza. I'll show you what it looks like. Some sort of flour that it's not edible. It's made for dye, says Rashi. Nishmar means not hefker. Out of the ground. What kind of vegetable grows not out of the ground? Mushrooms. So it comes to exclude mushrooms. Likita achas, and this is what's important to us. A fig. Why is a fig the only one not in this category? Because it doesn't have likita achas. Meaning, it doesn't, in order to bring peya, you need to be able to harvest it in one shot. When you have an apple tree, they don't go 5 different days. They go one day and they pick all the apples. Figs are different. Today one is ripe, the next one is not ripe. Tomorrow the next one is ripe. And every day you pick 3, 5, and you just keep on going. It takes a month to pick the whole tree. That's not likito achas, and that's why you're potter from peya, but you're chayiv and meiser, because meiser doesn't have that requirement. Meiser only has 3 requirements. You see the 3 checks? You need the 3 top things, but you don't need the last 2. And likiyum. Likiyum means you don't put it in storage. A fig, it'll start rotting right away. You don't put it, you could have an orange. You ever saw these guys, they have an orange that stays there for a month, 2 months. Not a tomato, not a cucumber. Those things, they go fast. So memela, that's why you knock out all vegetables, because they don't last long. What vegetables last for a long time? Onions. So any vegetable that lasts for a long time is in the category of peya. All right. Zog the Gemara inside. Kol shu oichel. It has to be food. V'nishmar, you want to protect it, not hefker. V'gedulim minars, and grows out of the ground. And you harvest it in one shot. And you could put it into storage. Chayiv b'peya. By the way, midaraisa peya is only dagan tirish v'yitzar. Grain is something that lasts for a long time. Wine and oil. Oicha, wine. Oicha lemuti svichei sotim v'koitza. Oh, I have a picture. This is sotim, right over here.
Safflower.
Now, the Gemara says svichei. The young ones, the how do you translate it in English? No, the sfiach. Rashi says, I don't know why.
Young safflower?
What does the art scroll say on sfiach? You guys have art scrolls? Anybody? I see 4 art scrolls here. Anybody? After growth. Usually means the before growth.
Very wild, not planted.
Okay, anyways, Rashi says he doesn't know why. He says maybe if it's not safiach, it's edible, he says. But akopanim, the way it is now, these 2 plants are made for dye. I guess they make yellow dye. I don't know what they do, but it's not edible. What? This is red? Not everybody says it's matter. Well, there's one. Woad. It's really? This is the wrong color?
No, those are the flowers.
But inside, okay, I guess it has some.
That they use these things to make colors.
Say it. Very good. The point is, whatever this is just for demonstration purposes. Don't take these things literally. Fine. These 2 things are not in the category of payah. V'nishmar, and it needs to be protected. Lemuti afker, something that's afker, you don't take payah from. You don't leave payah. V'gidulei min haaretz, lemuti k'meim u'pitriyos. You know that I was just thinking about it. I forgot what it's called in English. It's like a mushroom that costs, truffle. Thousands of dollars per pound. The most expensive.
Shaved truffle.
You don't leave that. You don't. Baruch Hashem, you don't have to leave. If you own one of those farms, you don't leave payah. That would be pretty expensive to leave a little payah there. Why? Because they're not gidulim in aretz. Maybe truffles are. I don't know. Truffles not.
Truffles growing in the ground.
They that good?
Yeah, you have to dig them out.
Yes.
The word truffle.
But is it min aretz? Does it have roots in the ground?
Showing them, they talk about truffle and they call it kartoffel.
Kartoffel, like a potato.
Like potatoes. When the potatoes first came from America,
They thought it's truffles.
they dug out from the ground.
Yeah, but a potato has a root and it has this. Truffle, I thought it's more like a mushroom.
Because the Rishonim say truffles is shahakos, right?
Yeah.
It's not planted, it grows.
Oh, 15 minutes. We got to go. We have a big sugya ahead. Fine. Not today. Whoever doesn't know that should leave anyways. If you're here for a while, you don't know that we have an app. What are you telling people? They don't know that we have an app?
I didn't know you had an app.
Okay. So who didn't know that? Because you're not here. You're only here on Sundays. Whatever. Okay. Rabbi Isai, we have an app.
No idea that's app.
And Nachman doesn't need it.
And 15 minutes.
Snap the app.
Oh, so here's what we're looking for. That you reap these fruits, you harvest them in one shot, in one time. Okay, so they bring down that it's not good for poor people. It causes them more loss than gain because they would have to come every other day to the field and pick another fig and another fig. They just said, forget about it. It's not for you. It's not for the poor people. Meiser only has 3 out of the 5. It has to be oichel. Nishmar, protected. V'gidulim in haaretz. Chai b'meisers. V'ilu l'kitosik echad. U'machnisa l'kiyum l'katani. You chai b'meiser on something that ain't l'kitosik echad. So in other words, you chai b'meiser on figs. U'machnisa l'kiyum l'katani. It doesn't say you put it away, you put it in storage. Memeli, you chai b'meiser on all vegetables. Im hayu b'em shumim u'b'tzolim, garlic and onions, chayovim, then you're chayvim in peyo. The snan, you have these rows. You're a farmer. You have rows of vegetables. And in the middle of your rows of vegetables, you have rows of onions, right? I'm sure that's how it goes in the farm. All of a sudden, he has like a patch of onions. Each row and row, you must leave some peah. And machloikis, how much payah do you have to leave? From every row or just one row? In other words, are the vegetables a hefsek, a chatzitza, so to speak, between the onions? What's the point? The point is that everybody agrees you have to take payah. But it's a vegetable. The answer is, it's a vegetable that's nishmar. It lasts for a long time, and memela, an onion, you take payah from. Here comes the nice sugya. Ulshin shizron mitchila lebehema v'nimlach aleim la'adam. I wonder if I took up. Yeah, ulshin. This is one pshat of a ulshin, an endive. If you want to know what it looks like. Endive. That's one pshat. Anyway, if you have these ulshin, when it comes to tumah, almost everything has to do with your intent. So if you had intent and you planted it for an animal food is not tummy, doesn't become tummy. But he planted it for animals, and then later on he regretted it and he said it's for human consumption. But it's already in the ground, it's already growing in the ground. Now what? What's the halacha? V'nimlach aleim la'adam, turn the page, daf nun beis. When they become available for tumah, to become tummy, then you could change the status. I could say, it went from animal consumption to human consumption. But I cannot change that status while it's in the ground. Why? To change something when it's attached to the ground is not going to help me. I'll bring you a proof from something completely unrelated. Here's a riddle. Not a riddle. Is an animal, a dead animal, metama, tumas nevela? Anybody? What do you think? Yes. How about a dead bird? A dead kosher bird, is it metama tumas nevela? Only in the throat. What about a dead non-kosher bird? Metama tumas nevela if you touch it? What do you guys think? This is the hard one. A dead bird, a crow in the street, is it different than a dead rat in the street? If you touch a dead bird, a non-kosher dead bird, a kosher dead bird we know is only tummy if you swallow it, it's in your throat, then everything becomes tummy, your whole body, your begotten become tummy. If you touch it like this, you don't become tummy. What about a dead bird that's not kosher and you touch it? Rabbi Shomer says, no, not tummy. You're not tummy, fine. As long as everybody's on the same page. So this amazing chiddush of a kosher bird, that you could touch it from today to tomorrow, you don't become tummy, but if you put it into your throat, only then you become tummy. There's 13 conditions. That what? Tzricha machshava ve'ena tzricha hechsher. Now, just simple pshat in the Gemara we have to understand. In order for it to be mitami your beis abliya, your throat and your whole body, you don't need any machshava, Rabbi Isai. So why does the Gemara say you need machshava? Because we're not talking about the tumah of beis abliya. We're talking about the tumah of, thank you, the tumah of making another food tummy. You hear? We're talking about tumas oichlin here. If I want this piece of chicken to be metama another food, not a person, it can't be metama a person, but another food, now I have to have machshava. I need to think about it. Why? Because it's a dead bird, and a dead bird is not food. In my house, a dead bird is not food. So I need to think in my head, I want this bird to be food. For who? For my cleaning lady. Wait, sorry, because I have my cleaning lady and all her friends are subscribers.
Cats.
Sorry, Lily, sorry. Anyways,
The dog also subscribed.
the dog is coming on. Now, hechsher is interesting also. What's hechsher tumah always? Hechsher tumah means I make my food wet, I pour water, and now it's mukshak tumah. When it comes to this bird, there's a new concept here, Rabbi Isai. There's a new concept of hechsher. I need to make it wet, and then I take a sheret and I touch my wet bird. That's how I make it tummy. First, I would think. I don't need to make it wet and then do tumas sherets. But if I would need, that's how it would work. By making it wet itself wouldn't be enough, but I have to touch it with a sheret. Alma says, Rava, this is a great raya. Machsheves chayim lo yishmo machshava. What happened? When it was alive, it was in my chicken coop. What was I going to do with this chicken? Obviously, I was going to shecht it and eat it. Why is that machshava not enough for me? Because when it's alive, it's like mechuber. It's not enough. I have to have a machshava once it's dead. And now that it's dead and it's an avela, I certainly need a machshava. So too, in our case, when these ulshin, these endives, are in the ground, and I thought to myself if I would have thought to myself when I planted it, I want this for human consumption, fine. It would be I wouldn't need machshava. But since I thought about it, that should be for animals, now it's too late. Now I have to wait until I harvest it, I'm koitzer it, then I can change it around. Reb Zeir Omar, Hacha begoizel shenafal min haruma askinon. Says Reb Zeir, what are you talking about? This bird was never in your possession. This bird fell out of the sky. It literally came crashing down and died. Memela, I never had a chance to think about that it's for food. I never knew it existed. But Lemaisa, if I did have the chance to think about it, it was in my house, it was one of my pets, then I don't need a machshava because I had a machshava when it was alive. Later on we're going to learn about this chicken in Yavno, that over there they said you need a machshava. Now what's a chicken in Yavno? A chicken is in my house, it's my pet, it's in my chicken coop. I know about it, it didn't fall out of the sky. So how come over there they said you need a machshava? Omar lei tarnagol boro havo. That's a wild chicken. Now in the beginning I thought it meant this guy. So I printed it, I brought it here, stam, for absolutely no reason. And I even wrote tarnagol boro. But then I looked in the art scroll, I said, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. This is like a wild chicken. But this might be kosher. So when we learned chulin, I should have remembered from chulin, because this is actually stuff that I picked out of the chulin file. This is a hopi, I don't know what it's called in Hebrew. It's a duchifat. And they have this in Eretz Yisrael. There's a bird common in Tel Aviv area. When I was a kid, they used to have these. I told you, it actually has like a little bell hanging over here. It's very cool. It has it looks like a thread and then a ball coming out of it. Maybe when I was a kid, I thought that's what it had. Anyways, this is a bird, and this is called tarnagol bara. Is this kosher?
No.
No way. This is not kosher. So he says, the reason why you need machshava is because it's this guy right over here. So what did the Olam do in the Beis Medrash when he said this? Achichu alei. They started laughing. Tarnagol bara if tamehu. Ishkoyach. You need a machshava. Machshava is not going to work. It's a tummy bird. There's no beis habliya. There's nothing with a tummy. It's not tummy if you touch it, like you guys said before, and it's certainly not mitama if I swallow it. So what are you talking about? Omar le'abayo gaver rabo Omar milso. If somebody choshev says something, lo yitachichu alei. Don't laugh at him. You have to explain what he's saying. What he meant, bara means that it rebelled. Umay bara, so why did he use a word bara? Dibrayim imara. It's outside of his ownership, of his.
So wild.
Oh, so Memela, we're talking about a chicken that ran away, a loose hen. And Memela, I couldn't have intent, and that's why I need to have intent now. So this also, if you remember from Chulin, there's a beautiful bird called Tarnagola Dagma. Oh, I didn't print it. Oh, mamish a shame. Mamish a chaval. Maybe I did.
Maybe go to the app and you could just.
Yeah. What's his name? He left already. It might be online. Tarnagola Dagma is a beautiful bird. No, not here. I printed it. I did print it. I just didn't bring it. Stayed on the printer.
7 more minutes.
But we have to. I know the 7 words. We have to be mitzvah on the.
There's a clock here. Thank you.
I don't look at it. He's right.
You should look at the clock.
I should, but I'm busy looking in the words of the Gemara. Tarnagol da'agmo is a type of bird, a beautiful, colorful bird, and that's what we're discussing. That's what he said. Tarnagol bara. He meant the Tarnagol da'agmo. It's the, how do you say agam? The swamp bird, swamp chicken. It's called in English. Go on Google now. Swamp chicken.
Swamp chicken.
Rav Papa l'tamei d'omer Rav Papa tarnagol da'agmo osur. This is an amazing halach according to Rashi. The male swamp chicken is usher to eat. Tarnegolta da'agma shario. It's possible, you hear what's going on here? Listen to this, Yeshua, you got to hear this. It's possible you have in one species, a male is usher to eat, and the female you're mutter to eat, says Rashi. V'simonech amoini v'loy amoinis.
Can't eat it no money either.
V'loy amoinis. Taisus goes wild here. He says, how is it possible such a thing? It's impossible. So Meli says that you're talking about two different species. The male is not, it's not a male. It's a species called Tarnegoylo dagma and Tarnegolta dagma. It's two different types of birds. Fine. Dorash Mereimar Tarnegolta dagmo asira. By the way, you should know that this female is also Chazura Bonin the Dors of Achla. Going back to Chulin, birds have simonim, and one of the simonim is, if you remember, like the eagle would hold on to its food and it would eat with its beak, it would pick from the food, or it would take with its foot, its claws, and bring it to its mouth. That's what? We do, the Chulin.
That's all conjecture.
And that's part of, well, that's one of the simonim, and maybe they said, you know what, it's also.
These symbolim are interesting, but it's not based on the Torah.
Why?
Those that are listed.
Whoa, we should discuss this in Chulin. Torah Rabbanan. Big sugya for 4 minutes. Shkoyach for leaving now. And this is exactly when I wanted you to leave, actually. This is a little scary, this sugya. Goizel shenovel agas. You have a kosher chick that fell into a wine press. You're going to miss the sugya. Rabbi said this is a big one. You have a bird that fell into a wine press. It's not very edible. What am I going to do with my dead bird? I'll give it to the guy. So because I thought that, I turned it into food. Memelo tome. Lekelev, if I thought about giving it to my dog, tahar. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Rabbi Yochanan is on this whole thing. He says, af lekelev tome. In other words, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says, I don't need machshava. This bird is tame automatically. It's a question of whether or not I have to insert a machshava here and make it food, or it's automatically food. On Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, kavachomer. Very simple kavachomer. If a bird could make a very strong tumah. What's a strong tumah? Tumah beisabliya, putting in my throat. It's a really strong tumah. Why is it a strong tumah? All my clothes become tumah. It's a very heavy tumah. How does that work? Shaloi b'machshava. I don't need to consider my dead chicken food. If I put it in my mouth, I become tummy automatically. Lo yitame tumah kala shaloi b'machshava. If I don't need machshava for very heavy tumah, certainly I don't need machshava for very light tumah. What's a very light tumah? To make another food tummy. I'm not making my clothing tummy. I'm making another food a sheni. No, big deal. Certainly it should be shaloi b'machshava. Amr loy. Not a good raya. You don't need machshava at all. Machshava is not in the parsha at all. Who's talking about machshava? When it comes to swallowing a bird, there's no machshava at all. And the Gemara is going to explain later. But when it comes to lighter tumah, over there you do need machshava. Don't bring me any rice. Over there, the Tarnegolis was an avela, not food. And we're discussing over there the tumah kala of making another food tameh. And over there they said you need a machshava. And over there he said you don't need machshava. It's not true. Since the Yavna story was about goyim, and goyim eat this kind of stuff, so memela, that was the machshava. It became food through their machshava. Okay, so that's the sugya. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it happens automatically. According to Chachamim, I need a special machshava. In Yavne, we see that you don't need a machshava. You do need a machshava. It just happened to be that they're goyim, and goyim eat this dead bird. Says the Gemara, just a side note. B'maya skinon. What is the situation? Where are we exactly? Where did this take place? If it happened in a city, because we learned in Chulin already, city has a very large population and there's a lot of consumption. You need a lot of food. So whatever they could get their hands on in a city, in the time of the Gemara, they would get their hands on. They would eat it. If it's a dead bird, dead animal, whatever it is, any type of food, let's eat. Similar like in Vietnam today. I don't know, a lot of people, not a lot of animals, you just eat whatever you could get your dead dog, you eat. So Memela, lo meli machshava. Vasnan, you don't need machshava over there. Nivlas behema tahira, a dead carcass of a kosher animal, of a cow, b'chol makoy, even in a village, v'nivlas oiv tar v'achelev b'krachim, and a dead bird, a dead pigeon, roadkill, in the big city, because people are going to eat it. It's edible. Elo, so you have to say we're talking about b'kfarim in a village. What are you telling him about the app again? Because it's very disturbing. Is there someone that says in a village you don't have to have machshava? When it comes to the carcass of a non-kosher animal, anyways, a non-kosher animal is tummy, we're talking about less than kizayis. When we're dealing with a dead pigeon, let's say, in the village, everybody says you need to say that it's food. You can't just automatically assume that people are going to eat it. We're talking about in the big city. Since we're talking about a situation that the bird fell into a wine press, nobody wants wine-tainted chicken. So mamela becomes disgusting, and therefore it's like in a village where I need a special machshava. You don't assume automatically because it's in the city, everybody's going to eat it. Have a gewaldige day. Yeah. Omer Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. There's a guy, this is perfect for you. There's a Magachir, he was Israeli in Chicago. He didn't have such great manners. He was a rough guy. So guys would ask him questions in the shir. He'd tell them, you got your question from the art scroll? Look at the answer from the art scroll. you reminded me of Milda Shir a couple of times. You're like, you're chopping something from the art scroll, you're throwing it out to me.
Why? You never cooked meat in wine?
No, of course, I thought about it. My wife cooks it all the time. You don't buy it in the grocery with wine. I let my wife soak it in wine.